Rhonda Revelle to kind of preview the Huskers season. Nebraska will take on Indiana in a doubleheader on Friday in Leesburg, Florida to begin their season. Reminder to the media, if you want to ask a question, please use the chat function in Zoom so that I know you're wanting to ask a question. I don't see anything in there right now, so we'll just go ahead and start. First question to Steve Bidek of the Omaha World Herald. And reminder to keep yourself muted, but if you're going to ask a question, please unmute.
I think I just unmuted.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Hello, Coach. How have preparations been going? Have you been able to get outside before you get outside in some wonderful weather later this week?
We're outside going to and from our car before and after practice. No, we have not been outside, but we're fortunate that we're going to be able to get an outdoor practice on Thursday, actually at our competition venue. So that'll be nice. However, obviously to see a ball in the sky and get some ground balls on dirt is really important, but our team has stayed really focused, and I don't think we're really thinking about, we haven't been outside yet because probably a lot of the other teams that we're going to be facing are in the same boat. And really our philosophy, Steve, is who's doing it better? Who's doing indoors better?
Okay, thank you.
Our next question comes from Kelsey Casper with KLKN TV.
Hey, Coach, I kind of just want to start with, last season and just having that shortened season. How frustrating is that for you as a coach to not be able to play? And did that set you guys back at all, especially not having those younger girls play in a Big Ten schedule and really get the feel of their first season?
Well, thank you for the question. And, you could say that it would set us back, but I actually think it sprung us forward. And the reason that I say that is everybody else was shut down too. And so you look at this period of time and what have you done in that period of time? And our group has been very diligent about what we've done with our time from last March on. We took about 2 weeks where we just grieved the loss of a season because there definitely is a loss. And then we got back to work on whatever we could work on. And a lot of it was over Zoom, but we haven't stopped doing that. And so I feel really, really encouraged by the work that our team has put in.
And then one more question, just based on the schedule that you guys have, if you look at the Big Ten schedule, you guys got 4 games in one weekend against one team. How different is that for you guys? And, the adjustment that you're going to have to make, not playing games throughout the week and really, honing in on those, weekend games.
I think there will be some challenges to that. But again, I'll go back to everybody else is doing it for the first time, so who's going to do it better? And one of the things that when I found out how our schedule was going to go, I looked up how Major League Baseball plays, and they play each other a lot. And so you think about how many times, particularly a relief pitcher might see the same hitter in the course of a season. So we just tried to get into familiar territory with what other people have done and go, okay, this is doable. And I think it's going to really be an advantage to the people that think of what is possible versus the challenges of it.
Our next question comes from Kevin Suits, 1011.
Hi, Rhonda. Could you talk a little bit about Tristan Edwards? She's the Big Ten preseason player of the year, and she's back for you this year. Did you know throughout the offseason, did your gut tell you that you would have her for this season?
I was really hopeful that she would say yes. She's had some other opportunities, and she's far along in her academic work and kind of had to pump the brakes for that to not graduate and get started that way. But I think, if you know Tristan, she just feels like she has unfinished business. And that it is not only on the field, but it's in the clubhouse. And she'll probably speak to that here in just a little bit, Kevin. But she's doing such a great job, leading. We've got a very young team, and they just really look to her and look up to her. And just the role modeling that she's doing and really working to reestablish this culture, she's really been the driver behind all of that.
And then beyond Tristan, can you just speak to your overall team depth and the talent that you have? What's the outlook for Nebraska softball in 2021?
Well, I'll tell you, between the fall when we've scrimmaged and this spring or winter when we've done a lot of competing, that is what we've got. We've got a lot of competing going on, and we've got a lot of people at positions that we're still competing for positions. So, if you look at opening day, you're going to see 3 or 4 positions that are going to hold steady as we go, but then you're going to see 4 or 5 positions that we might be rotating people in and out because people have earned playing time. So that's exciting, and it's an exciting place to be because it's really competitive. People have earned playing time versus just by default, and we've really tried to be about production, performance, and competitive moments, and I think we've really embraced that, and so it's time to play somebody else.
Our next question is from Justin with the Daily Nebraskan.
Well, Coach, how does not having non-conference games change things?
Did he finish that? Okay. Sorry, Justin. I think probably the biggest advantage of having the non-con games, especially with our roster being, with 8 freshmen, is giving them some time to really get their feet under them. That would be a very nice thing to have, but we don't have that time. So what we've tried to do in practice is like I said before, make those very competitive. And we've really worked hard on managing our adrenaline. I mean, we talk about our little adrenaline drips a lot because I can imagine when we take the field opening day, and they're going to probably be at least 4 or 5 freshmen in that lineup, and their adrenaline's going to be sky high. So I think that would be a nice advantage if we didn't have to jump right into conference play. But I'll say this again, and everybody's going to get tired of me saying this, Indiana's starting with conference play as well.
Next question from Steve Bidek at the Omaha World Herald.
You mentioned that 3 or 4 spots are pretty much nailed down, for lack of a better term. Who are those and what spots, and who are some others? Kind of walk through briefly position by position, if you could.
Yeah. Our middle infield is nailed down again. All people being healthy, and I'm going to knock on wood, with Billy Andrews, a freshman from Gretna, as you know very well, Steve, and Cam Ybarra, senior from California, and then Tristan will anchor the outfield and center field. So right up the middle. I mean, anytime you can have right up the middle nailed down, you're feeling pretty good about that. We have a 2-catcher system. Both of those catchers will catch. We've been rotating our third baseman and our first baseman, and if somebody separates themselves, we will allow for that too. And we've been rotating the corners and the outfield as well.
And a virtual question from Clark Grell, Lincoln Journal-Star. Coach, what are your thoughts on the 44-game conference schedule and the challenges and the positives of a conference-only schedule?
Yeah, I spoke to the challenges because we don't get any non-conference. I mean, it's like game on right out of the gate. So that would be nice just to even have a couple of games, but we don't. I also think that the benefit of it is every game means something right from the get-go. And so your sense of urgency, your sense of focus, your sense of prioritization is at a very high point. The other thing that I think is a benefit is, as you scout a team and as you try to figure out how to strategize to come out on the right side of the scoreboard, I think that'll matter more rather than just getting on the field and competing without knowing a lot about your opponent, because we should know some things about our opponent.
And our final question for Coach, we go back to Kevin Suits with 10-11.
Rhonda, how have you handled this crazy year, 2020, then transitioning to 2021, and some of the new things you'll have to experience this year? I mean, you've been coaching for quite a while, and I'm just wondering how you've personally handled it and kind of adapted to some of the new challenges that you're facing as a head coach of a Big Ten program.
I like that question, Kevin. I actually feel like I have a lot of gratitude during this time. We've really kept and embraced the mentality, and I've done this myself personally and professionally, like, what do we have and what do we get to do? And even if it's different, what can we do in that moment to become better at this, whatever this is? And I just have found there are many silver linings. And as much as we all want COVID behind us, and health and safety, of course, being the first and foremost reason, and we want to get back to normal, I'll look back on this time in my life and think I had the opportunity to lean into whatever it was, professional development or building relationships with players in a different way that I'll truly cherish for a lifetime. And quite honestly, that I will want to adapt moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Coach.